Hey guys, welcome back to our Not So Perfect Life. I am Jason.
And I'm Dellynn.
And today we're going to take you behind the scenes, a little BTS, on how to prep a rig for a move day.
Yeah, because we all know when it's a travel day, there's so much to do. There could be a lot going on.
Oh yeah.
And we just want to share with you some things that we've learned through our time of RVing.
Yep.
So whether you are just starting out in the RV world or you've been around the block a time or two, come along with us because you just might find some things that you're going to want to do when you're out there RVing that are important things not to forget about. Because straight up, guys, just yesterday, we watched somebody pull...
Don't tell them. It's going to be one of the things that we share later.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, guys. You know it's true. Like, some of the things that people do when they're packing up and you're just like, oh my gosh, oh, don't do that. So, yeah, okay. I guess apparently he's going to share with you later. I don't know. I was just going to tell you right now because it's crazy some of the things that you can do too. We're not exempt. We've started to drive away with our stairs down once, so it happens, folks.
It does.
It does. So come with us today and check out some of the things that we're going to share with you on what's important to do for a travel day prepping your rig.
Bummer.
I personally like to do all of our dishes before we travel. That way it can prevent anything from breaking. And also, I really like to come, like once we move on a travel day and we get set up to the next place, I just like to walk in and it be like, everything is clean. So I'm gonna wrap up all the dishes, dry them and put them away, wipe down all the counters. I mean, that's just kind of my thing, but I would recommend making a practice of it because then when you set up at your new spot, you just walk in, everything is done.
These bays right here, right? Huge storage compartments. And all kinds of RVs have different size storage bays. A couple of things to keep in mind when you're using your storage bays. Just because this is a huge cavity doesn't mean you stuff it to the brim. There's a couple reasons for that. One is your weight on your rig. The GVW, the GWVR, GVWR. Look, your overall weight. Don't go overweight by stuffing this thing to capacity. The other thing to keep in mind is that you want to be able to access your stuff that you have in here without having this huge process of pulling half of the stuff out to get those items out when you want to use them. These are just simple things to keep in mind. Some things that you can use that will help you organize will be bins. As a full-time RV family, you'll be shocked at how little we have in here. But that's because we try to travel light, we just take what we need, and we don't feel like we're sacrificing anything.
Okay, so you might be asking, why the bucket? Yes, if you're boondocking, buckets are amazing and they help from your tanks to get full, so you can just take it outside and dump it. But I keep a bucket all the time because when you're washing out something like this, I don't want that stuff going down our drains because you can get some funky smelling gray tanks. It's not just the black tanks that get stanky. These gray tanks can actually get really terribly smelly if food gets down these drains. Yes, you might be saying, Dellynn, you have a drain stopper. But to me, that doesn't quite cut it. So what I like to do, I like to rinse this off, I like to wash it all, and then I dump it in my bucket, and then that goes outside. So I just feel like it'll help to preserve our gray tanks from getting the funk.
So as you can see, even as a full-time family, we have 2 lawn chairs, a sombrero hat, and our Varla scooter. There's 2 other small lawn chairs on the other side of these Lippert Zero Gravities, and that's it. We don't pack it full of stuff. I'll cover why you don't want to stuff these for another reason coming up in just a little bit.
Another thing I like to do is take out the trash. Because the last thing you want is strolling up to your new spot and then like you've been driving for a day and your whole house smells like onions or whatever you have in the trash. So before we leave a campsite, I like to take out all the trash from everywhere and just keep it clean.
So another thing you want to definitely do is try to clean off the surfaces that you've been cooking on over the last weekend, week, wherever it is that you're staying. When you're putting stuff away, it just makes it so much nicer when you get it back out. You're not feeling like you're grabbing dirty stuff. And I know it takes a couple of extra minutes, that step, and it just allows you to have a better space. You want to try to think ahead of the game, right? When you arrive at a place, you don't be pulling out a dirty, nasty table that's full of grease, food, and all that other mess. So just get a little rag, a little bit of soap, and get to work.
See, we have kids, and they like to just leave things plugged in everywhere, so I always do a hunt around the house to see what's plugged in and unplug everything. That way it's not like running extra unneeded power while we're going down the road. And you want to make sure that anything you have that has straps and like all these extra cords, I unplug them and strap it up. And you know what? I think that now, Jason, is the best time to tell them, if you don't have a checklist, please make yourself a checklist, because no matter how long you've been doing it or how fantastic your memory might be, there'll always be those days where you're gonna forget something. So I have a checklist. I keep it right here in the kitchen. It's right inside this drawer right here. And then I take a look at that and make sure that I have checked everything off.
This public service announcement was brought to you by our Not So Perfect Life. Go make your checklist today.
I would say go find the most fun, funkiest paper that you can and make your checklist on that and have fun with it.
All right, peeps, those that work from the road, this one's for you. All those hard drives that you got, we got these little like plastic cases at Walmart. Totally not a sponsored thing, but what they are, they're over in the craft section or sometimes in the outdoor section. They're actually like little plastic ammo boxes. They have this little hinge right here that locks it down. All the hard drives and everything fit right in there and fit so nice and neatly right up here in this little small storage area above the TV. And of course you can find it wherever it fits in your rig, but it's a nice condensed way to keep all the hard drives, everything computer related, one handle, one grab, you're done, you're not searching for them, and they're not bouncing around like, you know, what happens when you're driving down the road and everything inside of the rig is doing one of these things.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain as I'm wrestling with these cords. Oh my heaven's sakes.
I probably should jump in and help, huh, guys?
No, it's fine, I got it.
No, it's fine, I got it. Good, I don't even need your help.
No, I just gotta finagle through all the cords back here.
Cords. I hate cords.
Oh,
Guys,
my word.
that's like a bane of my existence. Freaking cords. Can we just have everything Bluetooth, please? Like, this is 2022. There shouldn't be a cord anywhere, ever, in the history of ever. Okay, so it turns out I got a couple extra things in here that I forgot to talk to you about earlier, which was the big RV mat and our table that I cleaned up. So there are 2 additional items in here, but as you can see, it's not that much. The reason I talk about not filling this, let's just say this was an item that was pushing against the edge, right? If you went to go and close this door, you'd have to really press against it, right? And even if you got it closed, guess what's happening on the other side of the door? All of that pressure is coming against this locking mechanism. If there's constant pressure coming against the locking mechanism, guess what this rig is doing when it's going down the road? Not only is it bouncing up and down and kind of going crazy, but the frame does shift mildly. Well, that little shifting, you know, could end up popping that door open, right? As you're going down the road. Well, now if you have this happening down the road, guess what else happens? Or you have a hinge that'll force it up. Now your bay is completely exposed. So make sure you have nothing pushing up near this frame whatsoever. And the other reason is, you just simply don't want to shove your bay that full of things, man. You just really don't. It should be comfortable. It should be an enjoyable experience to come and make sure that you can get to and use all the things in your RV easily quickly and efficiently.
So always make sure you remember to strap your doors, snap your doors, whatever that may be for your rig, so that they don't go flopping around. Close your shower doors, and we always like to close the bedroom doors too. That way they're not just banging around while you're driving down the road. Oh yeah, and don't forget to check your wind, what are these called?
Vents?
Yeah.
Vents?
And don't forget to check your vent hoods, because you want to make sure those are closed when you're driving down the road. So make sure they're nice and secure and shut.
Take the opportunity when you're at an RV park to dump your tanks, flush your tanks, fill up any fresh water that you might need. One quick pro tip though is when traveling, try not to carry a full load of water. Why? It's pretty heavy unless you absolutely need to, because between the point where you're leaving and the point where you're going doesn't allow you to fill up water. Other than that, fill up maybe just enough to get through at night. Traveling with a full boatload of water along with all of your stuff, you want to make sure you're not overweight. So when we weighed our rig, we made sure we had about 1/3 of a tank of water, 1/3 tank in the gray, and about 1/3 tank in the black. That left us some variance there, and that's a good suggestion for you to do as well. So yeah, whenever you're at an RV park, take advantage of being able to flush those tanks out and get it done.
One very important thing that we learned by mistake was make sure that you sweep anywhere your slides are gonna come in, so that there's no loose pebbles or toys if you have little ones or grandkids that could be caught up underneath, especially if you have like flaps like this. We always make sure to sweep underneath of them too. So just make sure that you do a good sweeping wherever slides are going to come in to prevent any damage to your floors when you bring the slides in or out.
Okay, one point that I gotta make here, and you might think that this is a silly point to make, it doesn't need to be said, but people make mistakes, right? And without a checklist, and if you're in a hurry or someone is distracting you, then you're liable to make a mistake. So I just wanna say it, even as silly or like 101 elementary RV as it sounds, it's this. Make sure you check that all of your connections, your sewer hose, your fresh water, your black water, your electrical, hi Lily, all of those items are disconnected before you move your rig. I have personally seen it. Dellynn and I have personally seen it to where people have left those important connections connected and have taken off. And in the midst of that, cost them thousands of dollars in damage. So just be sure, look, RVing is an evolution of education, right? And so in that, you want to make sure that you're always paying attention, following your checklist, and getting the things done that you need to get done so that you can safely travel and not cost yourself a ton of money. Right, Lily? Right? What do you tell them? Disconnect your sewer hose.
So if your fridge comes with the little blocker things right here, don't forget to set those up, because that will help things from shifting around. Sure. Sure, hang on a second. There we go. So just be sure to put those little, I don't know what they're called, little like guardrails up so that things don't fall out. And even if you do have those, when you are parked and you go to open your fridge for the first time, open it carefully and slowly in case things did fall. Because we've had that happen a time or two. It's lovely when it happens with your maple syrup and it just falls all over the place. I love that, it's my favorite.
Let's go a little bit deeper. Let's go down into the back cave and show you something funky, cool, and fresh. See this little footstool? Yeah, it's not a footstool. Straight storage compartment. Look, we got a little thing to organize all the computers inside so they stand upright so they're not bouncing around. It stores cords in the whole 9 yards, keeps everything nice and succinct. Then, you close the lid and that's all you see.
Big bang boom. And lastly, guys, but certainly not least, make sure you bring in all your slides, you roll in your awning, and don't forget about stairs up and the handle in. Well guys, there you have it.
Yep.
Camping can be intense.
It can be a lot of work, but, oh. Took me a second to get that one, folks. Look, I always show up to the party, sometimes I'm just a little late.
I figured it was the appropriate shirt to wear today.
Yeah, no, it's actually a great shirt to wear.
But it doesn't have to be so intense. Make your list, check it twice.
Yeah.
Do your walk around, and you got this.
Yeah, save yourself tons of headache, tons of money. You know, as you get your system, it'll save you tons of time as well.
Yeah,
So,
you'll work out the kinks.
yeah, for sure.
We have, ish.
Yeah, we're still kind of,
Ish.
yeah, we're learning just like you are. We're just learning out loud, that's all.
Yeah, we're always an ish factor.
It could be true. Hey guys, if you end up liking this content, hit a thumbs up. It totally tells, YouTube and us that you're enjoying it. And if you really love us, hit the subscribe button. That way you get an update every time we upload something.
Yeah, because it's usually Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, it depends on how the week goes.
But if you ring the bell, it'll notify you of what day we upload a video.
That's right, that's right. And so, we just thought it'd be great to show you a little behind the scenes, what happens on a daily when we're getting our rig prepped for the road. So,
yes, and I think we can say, until the next one,
ooh, peace.
Keep making everyday life beautiful.
Yeah. And the last thing you want to do is always do a final walk around. One more check. Right? Just make sure, just double check. It's always worth it. And one other thing, don't forget about the stabilizers that you have down and the extra length that you may have added manually. Make sure you lift those up as well. That can be forgotten. If you drag that, that's gonna cost you some money.